Good morning, everyone. It's Beth Kozik from Elegant Greetings. It's Saturday morning and time for another catalog copycat cards. Let's take care of business first and give away our card from last week. This was the really pretty card that was made with the In the Woods or Into the Woods bundle, and it has a lot of bling, and it's a super pretty card. So I want to thank everybody who commented on YouTube and Facebook. And remember, that's the only way I'll be able to enter you in the drawing is if you actually leave a comment. So let's go ahead and pick a name. Alrighty, and our winner this time is B. So B, thank you very much. I will put this in Monday's mail to you, and I hope you enjoy that card. Alright, today's card we're going to make is very special. It's from the Ornamental Envelopes bundle, which is here on page 40. There is a stamp set and a coordinating die set, of course. So the stamp set looks like this. It can be used pretty much year-round. Of course, the ornaments are a little more holiday-like. And there are some flowers and some corner embellishments here. These lines are intended to be stamped onto an envelope so we can write the person's name and address on it. And then these curvy pieces are, well, I think they're intended to make like a circular type of a pattern on a project. So we're going to use this one here, which is kind of like a twig style, and then this one here, which makes all of the small polka dots. And of course there is a coordinating die set, so this is very, very fun. There's lots of options here. You can see that this one coordinates exactly with this one and cuts out all of those ornaments all in one fell swoop. And then there are some other embellishments. These are cutouts that we can put onto envelopes. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes. And then it's called Ornamental Envelopes because there are 4 dies which fit exactly to our Stampin' Up! Envelopes. If you can kind of envision, these are intended to cut out an envelope liner. So we can use designer paper for those, and it cuts out the exact shape of our envelopes. So we played with these in my October card classes, and I'm going to show you the cards that we made so you'll get a close-up look at how this set works. Okay, our products for today that we need, I'm just going to keep my catalog handy here so I can copy it. Okay, we're going to start with, of course, our stamp set and our dies, and we need a sentiment. So I picked the Wrapped in Christmas, which has the exact This Piece on Earth stamp. So that will be our sentiment. And then we need our banner triple punch. We're going to cut out our sentiment with that. And we'll need some wonderful gems. These are wonderful, of course. There's some red and kind of an off-white color here. And then I have my Take Your Pick tool we'll apply those with. I have some linen thread and glue dots. And then our inks, we're going to do a little embossing, so we need our Versamark. We need Early Espresso for the wreath. And then we need the Real Red. I already stamped and cut out these 3 small flowers just to save some time. So those are right here. So see how cute those are? They were cut out right with the die that matches. So we'll keep those on the side. And then of course the 2 stamps, we need the one that's kind of like the twig and then the dots. And then our cardstock is the crumb cake, and this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2, and I'm going to keep that open for stamping. And then we need a piece of Real Red, which is 4 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and then a scrap of white, which is what I did the flowers on. So that part's already done. And then I wanted to make myself a guide to make it easy to follow a circle when using these stamps to create that wreath look. So this circle is, I think, 2 1/4, 2 3/8. So I'm just going to lay that right in the middle, keeping an eye here on my score line so I can center this within my card here. All right, so we're going to start by stamping with our brown ink the twig image. And oh, we also are going to need our heat tool to do our embossing. Forgot that. All right, so I'm just leaving this centered, and then I know from playing with this before that to make a circle I have to stamp this about 4 times. And I do have to overlap it just a little bit. So nice and easy, I'm just going to follow the circle, leaving a little bit of gap around it. And this doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to go around a second time, and I'm going to move where I started my stamp. So I had started here. I'm just going to shift it a little bit so I get some variation in the twigs. And this is going to make this image just a smidge darker. And we'll want that because we're going to be putting quite a few of those white dots on top of it. And this will help it to show through a little bit better. Okay, so there's our wreath. I'll take this away for the moment. And then next we're going to use Versamark. So this is again just a very clear sticky ink that we use for embossing. And I'm going to, you can kind of see here, these are all the little dots. So we're going to put a circle of dots right on top of the twigs that we just stamped. And it's not going to look like much right now because we have to add embossing powder and then we have to heat set it. So I'm just going around the circle 4 times, and we want to act a little quickly on this because we don't want that Versamark to dry. We want to have our embossing powder stick to it. So here is my container with white embossing powder, and I'm just going to lay this right in there and then kind of shake the powder so it gets all over the wreath. Okay, and then just like to give it a good couple flicks. Oh, there we go. That's going to look really cool. So you can see where all of the powder has clung to where I put all of that Versamark. All right, now here comes the magic part. I'm going to heat up my heat tool, and I'll try to bring this in close so you can watch it. But heat embossing is so fun. This is where the magic is. So just watch what happens here. There it goes. You can see it melting the powder, and it's turning a bright white color because the embossing powder is white. Isn't that cool? And we want to keep the heat tool moving along. We don't want to keep it in one place for too long because we could burn the paper. Isn't that fun? I think embossing is one of my favorite techniques to do. Okay, so you can see that some of the brown is not showing all the way through. It's not quite as dark as I'd like it. So I'm just going to go over that again with the brown ink. Add a little bit on the top of there. And I don't really think I need to have my circle in place. I can kind of see where I want these to go. There, okay, so that's giving me the look that I was going for. And again, I'm just going to overlap a little bit. There, that looks really nice. And again, so 4 times around makes the circle. And so this is looking to me like a winter style wreath. Oh, is that gorgeous? So you could see too that this would be really pretty to use with spring colors and add a bunch of those flowers to make it look very springtime. You could do it more of autumnal colors and have it be for a fall type of a look. So it's a really great set to use year-round. Now I'm going to go ahead and first, we'll let this dry for a second. I'm going to punch and stamp and emboss our sentiment. So our banner triple punch creates that nice even notch, and when figuring out how long to make the piece, I have a little trick, so I'll show you. What I did is I took my sentiment and I measured. So my sentiment is about 2 inches long, and then I'm going to add 2 more inches. Okay, so that made my piece 4 inches long, and I know that about 1 inch is removed from each end with the notch punch, so you can see how much actually is taken away. So I know that I need to add just a little bit so that I can punch each side and then have my sentiment still have enough space. So I'm going to also make this embossed with white embossing powder. So I'm just going to use the Versamark and then dip that into my embossing powder. Okay, now here I have a little extra, a little more on there than I want. So, whoops, let's see if I can get all that off of there, because every little speck is going to show as a little white speck once I heat this up. Okay, I could also, I don't have my brush handy, but I could take a small paintbrush and kind of get rid of those extra little pieces. All right, that's not too bad. So I'm going to heat this and emboss this. There we go. That turned out quite nice. I have a little extra on there that I didn't want, but that's okay. All right, so our sentiment is ready and our wreath is ready. So I think we are all ready to go with our assembly. I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals on the back side of our sentiment to pop that up. All right, so our card needs to be folded in half. Use our bone folder to get a nice crease. And then I'm looking at the catalog. I'm going to add our few flowers. So I'll get some glue dots on here. So it looks like there's 3 flowers on this card. There's one right about there, and one a little bit to the right on the wreath. And then one more under where our sentiment will go. So next I'll put on the sentiment using my dimensionals, my favorite product ever. These are just sticky pop-ups. Okay, and then this is going to go right about there. And then our other flower, we're going to stick right under this corner like that. Oh, that's cute. And then our twine, we'll tie a bow. Try that again. Okay, that looks good. I always tie my bows before cutting the piece off of the spool. All right, and then that's going to be attached with a glue dot. And that, sometimes the glue dots are a little bigger than we need, so what we can do is to just kind of roll it into a little ball and then place it where we want it to go. Underneath the knot on our ribbon or our bow, that will go there. Oh, that's cute. All right, and then our last step is to add some of these really pretty, wonderful gems. So I'm just going to use my take your pick tool, and these just get slid right off of the plastic. And then I'll place one here. And it looks like there's one more on the bottom down here. There we go. Oh, is that pretty? I love this card. Didn't that turn out cute? So let's bring in our catalog. And there's the catalog, and there's my version. Very, very nice. Okay, ladies, so please take a look, watch the video on YouTube, and give me a comment, or on Facebook. I really appreciate it, and I will enter your names into the raffle to win this card. All right, that's it for today. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.